Everyone, it's me, Uncle John. Today, I am going to read S5 5064, Junie B Jones and the Mush Gush, the Valentine. Chapter 1 through Chapter 4. Chapter 1, Party Ideas. My name is Junie B Jones. B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B and that's all. Go to school in room 9. Room 9 is where they have afternoon kindergarten. Also, they have morning kindergarten, and I'm not familiar with that arrangement. Today at school, my teacher had an announcement to make. Announcement is the school word for listen to me, and I mean it. My teacher's name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs. and that's all. Mrs. told us that we're going to have a special day in room 9, and it is called the Valentine's Day. She said the Valentines are special cards about friendships. And all of us in room 9 are going to give them to each other. My bestest friend Lucille squealed real happy. Ooh, I love getting cards, teacher. She said, I especially love getting the kind with money in them. Money is my favorite kind of mail. Me too, Lucille. Money is my favorite kind of mail too. Plus also I enjoy the publisher's clearinghouse sweepstakes. Mrs. did a chuckle. Well, I'm sorry, girls, but I'm afraid there won't be money in our Valentines. In room 9, we will just be sending happy wishes to each other, but it'll still be lots of fun. She smiled. We will be making a special Valentine's box to hold all the cards. And on the day of our party, I will personally deliver the cards to each one of you, she explained. Just then I jumped right out of my chair because nobody even mentioned a party before. Hooray, I yelled. Hooray for parties. Can we have cake and donuts, Mrs.? And what about cheese, popcorn, and cotton candy, and pretzels, and candy apples? I thought some more. Plus, also, we will all need red licorice and peanut butter cups, probably, and chocolate-covered raisin. Oh yeah, and malted milk balls, and gummy bears. I looked over at her. Maybe you should be writing this down, I said. Mrs. shook her head. No. She said we would have cupcakes, punch, and candy hearts. I sat back down, very disappointed, because not much thought went into the menu, that's why. Lucille stood up. What kind of punch, teacher? She asked. Will it have fresh raspberries and strawberry floating in it? My nana's caterer always put the fresh raspberries and strawberries into a punch, and it's delicious. After that, Lucille twirled around in her fluffy dress. What about dancing? I'm learning ballroom dancing at my expensive dancing school. So I would be happy to teach the children who are cheaper than me. Mrs. stared at Lucille a real long time. How very generous of you, she said finally, but I don't think we'll be having ballroom dancing, Lucille. Jamal Hall waved his hand in the air. What about a puppet show? He asked. If we can't have dancing, can we have a puppet show? Yes, said a girl named Lenny. What else? Maybe you could hire a magician. Or what about a wild animal act? Asked a boy named Roger, like a grizzly bear or a sea lion. Just then a boy named Polly, Alan Puffer, ran right to the front of the room and he jumped up and down all over the place. No, wait, I've got it. I've got it. He shouted really excited. We could get some of those jugglers who juggle chainsaws. After that, room 9 clapped and whistled and hooted and hollered. Because who doesn't love chainsaw jugglers? That's what I would like to know. After we finished clapping, we looked at Mrs. Her head was on her desk, and her eyes were staring out the door. All of the children in room 9 got very quiet because Mrs. was scaring us a little bit. Plus, also, we were out of party ideas. Chapter 2, Scribble Scraps. The next day, me and my bestest friend named Grace were playing on the playground. And guess what? We saw Mrs. carry a giant box into room 9. It was the box we were going to decorate for Valentine's Day, I think. Wowie, wow, that thing will hold 1,000,000 bazillion Valentine's cards. I said real thrilled that Grace did a frown at me. Stop saying Valentine, Junie B. You keep on saying Valentine with an M sound, and you're supposed to say Valentine with an N sound. I did a frown back at her. Who said so? I asked. I said so, said the Greek. Didn't you hear my voice? I just got finished telling you it has an N in it. The word is Valentine, not Valentine. I did a huffy breath at that girl. You're not the boss of my words, Grace, I said. This is a free country, and if I want to say Valentine, I can, and I will not even go to jail. The Grace looked annoyed at me. I didn't say you to go to jail, Junie B. I just wish you to say the word correctly, that's all. Page 10. Yeah, well, we can always have what we wish for, Grace, I told her. I wish Valentine had an M in it, but it doesn't, does it? After that, me and that Grace made squinty eyes at each other. Plus, also, we crossed our arms and we tapped our angry feet. Only pretty soon we got tired of that. 'Cause fighting with your friend is not that fun. That's how come both of us hugged each other. And we said apology. Sorry, Junie B. Sorry I tried to be the boss of your world. Sorry, Grace. Sorry, Valentine doesn't have an M in it. Both of us held hand and we skipped all the way to room 9. That's called the victory skip. And guess what else? After we got to room 9, Mrs. said it was time to decorate the Valentine box. Everybody quick sat down in their seats and we watched the Mrs. cover the box with shiny white paper. Plus also, she cut a mail slot in the top. After that, all of the children got our scissors, and we cut our paper hearts to paste onto the sides. I cut my fastest. Mrs. Look, I said I'm already done cutting my heart. And so I have the fastest scissors in room 9, probably. Just then a mini boy named Jim jumped up from his chair. No, you don't. Look over here. I already cut 2 hearts. See? 1, 2. So, haha, on you, he said. I quick cut another heart. Yeah, well, now I have 2, too. And so you are not the winner anymore, Mini Jim. Jim held up 1 more. 3, he yelled. I just cut number 3. So I'm still 1 ahead of you. I made my scissors go speedy fast. Ha! Now I have 3 too. So there. I said Jim did a fast snip. 4, I'm up to 4, he said. That's how come I got frustration inside me. Stop it, Jim. Stop cutting so fast, and I mean it. After that, I tried to cut 1 more heart. But my scissors went very out of control. My heart turned out like a scribble scraps. Darn it. Now look what you made me do. I hollered, real mad. All of a sudden, a big hand came flying over the top of my head, and it snatched my scissors right off my fingers. I bended my head back to see who it was. It was Mrs. Adidagarp. I was afraid it was you, I said kind of soft. The Mrs. went to Jim's table and she snatched his scissors too. So me and him had to sit in our chairs for the rest of the day, and we didn't get to decorate the Valentine's box. 'Cause our cutting days were over, that's why. And our painting days never even got started. Chapter 3, Picking Out the Valentine. The Valentine's box turned out very beautiful. After it was finished, Mrs. passed out a list for us to take home. The list had the names of all the children in room 9. There are 18 children in our class, said Mrs. So that means that everyone needs to bring 18 Valentines. I raised my hand. Do we bring Valentines for ourselves too? I asked her. Well, no. I mean, there is no rule against it, I suppose, but Valentines are really supposed to be given to others. She thought for a second. Oops, I guess that means I made a mistake, doesn't it? Since you won't be bringing in cards for yourselves, you will only need to bring in 17 Valentines. I raised up my hand again. Yeah, only what if we also want to bring a Valentine for you, Mrs.? I asked. Mrs. raised up her eyebrow. Well, then you'd be back up to 18 again, wouldn't you? She said. 17 plus 1 equals 18. I tapped on my chin. Yeah, only what if there is people in here who we don't actually like that much? Do we have to bring them a Valentine too? Yes, Junie B. Of course you do. Valentine's Day is the day of friendship for everyone. So every single boy and girl in room 9 will bring a card for every other boy and girl. After Mrs. finished explaining, she sat back down at her desk. I zoomed up there and whispered in her ear. Yeah, only I know I have to bring cards to the regular boys and girls. I said real slow, but I don't have to bring cards to the big fat stinky heads, do I? All of a sudden, Mrs. throwed her arms in the air. Yes, Junie B. Yes, you do, she said. For the last time, you will bring a card for everyone. in room 9. Even the big, fat, stinky heads. Just then, all of room 9 looked at her. Because teachers are not supposed to say big, fat, stinky heads, I think. After that, Mrs. closed her eyes for a real long time. Then finally, she stood up very slow and she went to the sink. And she took aspirin. The next day was a Saturday. It was the funniest Saturday ever. Cause Daddy took me to the drugstore and he bought me a beautiful heart antenna for my head. Plus also, he let me pick out my very own box of Valentine. After we got home, the mother helped me pick out the perfect cards for every person. In room 9, first I picked the card for my bestest friend Lucille. It had a lovely princess on the front of it. This one, mother, I said, I'll give Lucille this one. 'Cause when she grows up, she's gonna marry an expensive prince. And she's gonna let me and Grace sweep her castle. Plus also, we will get to wear her raggedy used up gowns. Mother looked at me. Lucille is a regular saint, she said very quiet. I know it, I said. Me and Grace are lucky to have her. I found the perfect card for Grace, too. It had 2 running shoes on the front of it. Mother read me the words. It said, Valentine, you and I make the perfect pair. We do, Mother. Me and Grace to make the perfect pair, because Grace can't beat me at running and I can beat Grace. And lots of other stuff. Probably only I haven't actually found anything yet. After that, I picked out special cards for all of the other children in room 9. Every time I picked out a Valentine, Mother crossed the name off the list. Finally, there was only one name left. Jim, said Mother. You still need to pick a card for Jim. I did a big sigh because I didn't want to give that guy one, of course. I looked all through my box of Valentine. Then all of a sudden I saw a card with a funny skunk on the front. That one I would send him. I sent Jim that one. Mother shook her head. I don't know, Junie B. A picture of a skunk just doesn't seem very nice. I put it in an envelope. Perfect, I said, because neither is Jim. Chapter 4, The Disagreement. On Monday, I skipped into room 9, very thrilled. Mrs., look, I have all my Valentines for the big, giant Valentine box there, right here in this paper bag I'm carrying. I turned, run, then showed her inside it. See them, Mrs. Matched every single card to the exact person who would get it. Mrs. patted my head. She said the word, good job. Then she took me by hand. And she showed me how to put my Valentine through the mail slot in the box. I do believe that you're the very first person in room 9 to bring in her cards. Said Mrs. I did a gasp at that exciting news. First, Mrs.? I'm really first? After that, I springed way high in the air, and I ran around and around in a circle. I've never been first at anything before, I said real squealy. Not ever, never. And so what is my prize for winning? I closed my eyes and held out my hand. Put it right in my hand, okay, Mrs.? I won't even pick, I promise. After that, I stood there real patient, but nothing got put in my hand. Finally, Mrs. bent it down next to my ear. Junie B, honey, I'm really sorry, but there is no prize. We weren't actually having a contest. I opened my eyes. We weren't? I asked. Mrs. shook her head no. My shoulders slumped a teeny bit. So then a prize would be out of the question, probably, I said. Mrs. shrugged. I'm afraid I didn't buy any prizes, she said. I rocked back and forth on my feet, and I thought and thought. Would you have a mint in your drawer, maybe, or some stickers? I asked. Mrs. smiled. Then she took me to a desk, and we looked in her drawer. How about a broken piece of chalk and a yellow rubber band, she asked. Sold, I said. After that, Mrs. told me, congratulations, and she gave me my prizes. I quick skipped my table to show them to Lucille. She wrinkled up her nose. Yuck, have you been going through the trash can again? No, silly, these are my prizes. I got prizes for bringing in my Valentine the first. Lucy smoothed her dress. Yeah, well, I would have brought my cards in today too, but they are not back from the printers yet, she told me. What? I said, what printer? The printers where they print my name on the cards. Wait till you see them, Junie B. Every card will have love and kisses from Lucille on the bottom of it. She hugged herself. They are so beautiful, she said. Each Valentine has a cherry lollipop on the front, and the lollipop is in the shape of a cupid. She sighed very dreamy. Cupid is a symbol of Valentine's Day, she said. Of course I know, I said back. Plus also skunk says she's a symbol of Valentine's Day too. So that's what on my cards. After that, me and Lucille did our work till recess. The both of us went outside to play with our other bestest friend Grace. Only too bad for us, 'cause Lucille kept on bragging about Valentine's Day, and that's how come she and that Grace got into a disagreement. I'm gonna get more Valentines than anyone, bragged Lucille. That's because the boys love me better than any other girl. They all bring me lots and lots of cards. Grace looked curious at her, but Mrs. said to only bring one card for every boy and girl, remember? Not lots and lots. Lucille flounced her flouncy dress. Silly Grace, look at me, for goodness sake. I'm precious, and when you're precious, boys automatically bring you lots of Valentine. They just can't help themselves. She twirled all around. I am the cutest girl in room 9, Grace, she said. I am way cuter than anyone else, she giggled and pointed. Even you. After that, Grace did a little frown, 'cause that hurt her feelings, I think. I tapped on Lucille. Yeah, only Grace is the nicest, Lucille. And so maybe the boys will bring her lots of Valentines too. Lucille did a huffy breath at me. But I'm richer than Grace, Junie B. So that's another reason to bring me more, she said. I thought for a minute. Yes, but Grace can run faster. So my hair is longer and boys like long hair. I looked at Grace's hair. But Grace's hair is springier and curlier. And that's cute as a button. Lucille made squinty eyes at me. But I have a big screen TV and a pool, she said real loud. That's how come me and the Grace leaned our heads together and we got in a huggle. Finally, I looked up at Lucille. Okay, here's what we came up with. Grace can whistle through her teeth, plus she can wiggle her ears. And also she can dribble a basketball through her legs while she's running. Lucille jumped up and down. But I have a pony, she hollered. I patted her very sympathetic. Sorry. Grace has a snake. After that, Lucille's shoulders got very sagging, and she sat down in the grass, 'cause boys love snakes better than anything. Pretty soon that Grace sat down next to Lucille, and she put her arm around Lucille's shoulder and she patted her. 'Cause guess what else? Grace is a good sport. The end.